Good afternoon, friends. I welcome
Good
you
afternoon.
for the third lecture from IFNCTS. Today, we have with us Mr. Shashi Bhushan Singh, a specialist in research and development management with around 40 years of experience, in which he has held very prestigious positions such as Directorship of Naval Materials Research Lab, Institute of Technology Management, and Defense Research and Development Organization, well known as DRDO. In today's lecture, he will discuss shop floor techniques focused on people working on shop floor, coupled with practical examples. Mr. Shashi Bhushan Singh, over to you, sir.
Thank NCTS for giving me this opportunity to speak on foundry fellow men and share my experiences. In fact, I would like to apologize for the last failure which taken place due to the internet. Uh, some mishap happened here. Uh, it happens in the life sometimes that in spite of all the preparation, some uncertainty comes and that takes the event or that takes the. What is that uncertainty? That is unknown unknown. There are many kinds of uncertainty, and the most dangerous one is unknown unknown. I would like to uh, tell some of the stories, and if you don't mind, if I speak in Hindi because the Hindi is our language, and English is the language of India. I feel. The better communication takes place when we communicate with the mother language. And since people are joining from different places, so I thought Hindi and English both. English, I'll say English. I'll use it because the feel which you get in Hindi, the punch which you get in Hindi may not be in the English. So I will tell because we have talked about uncertainty, and that happens in the foundry. Whatever method you apply, whatever the quality management system you apply, there are certain uncertainty or external factors which takes away, and you will never be able to achieve zero rejection or zero or 100% quality castings throughout your life or throughout the foundry. It reminds me one story of Mahabharata. Uh, in Mahabharata, अर्जुन और कृष्ण की आपको फ्रेंडशिप पता होगी. तो अर्जुन बहुत बड़ा आर्चर था, जो कि तीर बहुत चलाने में बहुत मास्टर था. उसके हिसाब से कोई भी उसके कंपटीशन नहीं करता था. तो आपको पता होगा कहानी कि जब द्रौपदी का स्वयंवर हो रहा था और उसमें कृष्ण भी थे, साथ में थे, और अर्जुन को कहा गया था कि तू एक मछली जो घूम रही है ऊपर में छत में, उसकी छाया को देख करके, पानी में छाया को देख करके उसके आंख में तीर मारना है. आपने शायद कहानी सुनी. और अर्जुन ने उस घूमती हुई मछली जो छत पे था उसको देखते हुए, उसकी छाया को देखते हुए, नीचे से देखते हुए उसने तीर चलाई और तीर जो है मछली के आंख में लग गई और द्रौपदी और अर्जुन का विवाह हो गया. तो अर्जुन को लगा कि मैं बहुत बड़ा तीरंदाज हूं और मैं सब कुछ कर सकता हूं. और मैंने देखा कि कई बार हम सोचते हैं कि हम सब कुछ कर सकते हैं, और तब कृष्ण भगवान ने उसको कहा कि भाई तुम अर्जुन, कैन यू रिपीट द सेम एक्सपेरिमेंट आफ्टर दिस इवेंट. बोला हाँ साहब, मैं कर सकता हूँ, बिल्कुल कर सकता हूँ. मार सकते? बोला बिल्कुल मार सकता हूँ. तो भगवान ने एक बार फिर से सिचुएशन क्रिएट करी और अर्जुन को बोला कि तुम चलाओ तीर. इस बार क्या किया, पानी में भगवान जो थे पानी को हिलाना शुरू, मतलब वेव्स पैदा कर. नाउ अर्जुन वाज नॉट इन ए पोजीशन टू सी द टोटल शैडो ऑफ द फिश. और उसके बाद क्या हुआ कि उसने घबरा गया. उसने कहा कि ये तो मैं तो तैयार नहीं था इसके लिए पानी. पानी में वेव्स आया। बोला यही तो बात है, तू कर्म किए जाओ और ये एक्सटर्नल फैक्टर मेरे पे छोड़ दो। देयर आर मेनी एक्सटर्नल फैक्टर्स and that is to be left at the superpower. But nevertheless, I was in the R&D field, so this uncertainty must be done. क्या होता है uncertainty, और इसको जरूरी हमें इसको डिकोड करना चाहिए, और इसीलिए R&D होना बहुत जरूरी है। और हर फाउंड्री हो या चाहे इंस्टीट्यूट हो, उसमें रिसर्च अनसर्टेनिटी के लिए ही हम करते हैं। With this background, I would like to set a tone of this webinar, and I would like to go for my presentation. So, secrets of success through building quality. And what is that secret which I am talking today? The secret which was existing before 17th century. And till the independence time, we have been following our those quality cultures, and it has eroded over a period. So, if you look at the history, I'm sorry this slide is stuck. Yeah. So I would like to set first a context about my talk, Indian historical perspective of quality. I would like to tell you that iron and steel industries of India was very famous for the export, and this steel we have been exporting to many countries because of the quality. What was the quality that we were producing, which I will discuss to you today. And you will be surprised to note that about 30% of the export of the materials was being done by the India till the 17th century. If you see the history of the export, about almost 30% export besides food. I mean, I am excluding the food products, and mainly these were steel, cottons, and the raw materials, jewelries, so many items, and these were sold to China, Rome, Greece, Damascus, etc. The Indian history of quality in trade of a product was very popular since time immemorial. So, what was this culture? Why this demand was there? What is it today? If you look at our dollar to rupees price in 1947, when we got independence, 1 rupee was equivalent to $1. And today, what is the dollar's rate? So what do you say? I say we are not able to make money because we are not able to produce that quality which we are existing earlier, or which we were making. So how quality culture was getting transferred from generation to generation, which we lost over a period now. Let us unfold the secret. I start. Yeah. What do you call it? Is it art of skill or quality? Now foreigners have told us quality. Earlier it was known as the art of skill. The incredible ancient metallurgical wonders that defy all explanations and pose a real mystery even today. What is that? If you look at this is the one sculpture from Delhi Museum, the dimensional control in sharpness development. You see how sharpness. That time there was no 3D coordinate measuring machine. There were no instrumentation developed. What was the technique? That we have to understand. And the other one, this is called Aranmula Kannadi. Kannadi is Tamil word. Tamil mirror we call it Kannadi. There is a village in Tamil Nadu known as Aranmula. They produce this mirror from a 30% approximately tin content, and they polish it in such a way that one can see its image. And they say that it is such an auspicious mirror that you see only real image. Whereas in our plain glass we see only the virtual image, and this mirror brings prosperity, happiness. So that is why still in Tamil Nadu, some of the families they say Almula Kannadi is given to the newly wedded couples. This is considered as one of the auspicious material, and they give it. Where is that? What is that size? What is that quality? We are not able to replicate it. And they are not sharing also because they say if we share it, then we lose our business. Now I'll talk about the why this is very important before I go into the modern quality control methods. So this, if you look at this dagger is made from the wood steel. Wood steel, you know, this high carbon steel is a nanoscale particles are embedded in that. That's a composite material. We have seen its distribution in the high carbon, how ferrite is distributed. And this is, we call it a Damascus steel. Damascus, you know, they were making from the Damascus, they stolen our ingots of the wood steel. And in actually, what do you say that in Karnataka, it is being produced, and that was its name was Kuddu steel. Kuddu means when the Karnataka steel, and they made it as a wood steel. So foreigners have given it different name. The Mysore Iron Steel Company of India now today, no more, I think it's totally dismantled. It was the one of the oldest plant we were producing the steel and 100% export. The skill, where is that? What was the skill? You see the welded platen. That platen we see, sorry, not welded. The platen of the dagger, it retains its sharpness so well. It was considered as soldier's pride. This Iron Pillar of Delhi is known to you all. You know how it's a still magical figure. People are doing research on this. That what is the technology which they use is still not rusting, and it's maintaining its all dimensions. That's so. This is what I talked about the culture of the 70s, and why? Because skill sharing was being done by the artisans. You know, those days there was no telephone, no television. So after the रिटर्न फ्रॉम द फार्मर, जब फार्मर्स वापस आते थे घरों में, वो क्या बात करते थे आपस में? वो बात करते थे कि मैंने आज बीज कैसे डाला, आज कैसे यील्ड हुआ, उसका कैसे प्रोसेस हुआ, वो यही बातें करते थे आपस में और उसकी इंप्रूवमेंट करते थे. And they used to call it chopal meetings and talking only the problems faced in the society or by their farms or by the profession. So there were a group of the professionals, farmers group, artisan groups, and they used to डिस्कस देयर स्किल कि अब मैंने आज बनाया, ये बनाया, आज मैंने वो बनाया और उसमें क्या डिफिकल्टी आई थी, एंड दैट वाज स्प्रेडिंग. So education, knowledge and skill transferred to the siblings, and also they were transferring the skill to their siblings. And how they were doing? By demonstrating the skill, not by copying or not by reading, not by transferring. So that was a culture of Guru and Shishya where only you have to speak and only you have to listen. No writing, no paperwork. And you have to do it, demonstrate it. That was the culture, and that culture has been stolen from us now. I'll tell you how it was stolen. It was so much developed that I'll tell you another interesting fact. Because the Dr. Raghavan, he retired head of the Sanskrit department of Madras University, and he found that he did some research and from the latest survey that UFO alien used to visit us. And the UFO design was available in 4000 BC. This is the UFO design. It is given in Sanskrit. And that how they could accommodate. So this is the alien figure they have put it in the casting form. So you can imagine the amount of the knowledge, the amount of the skill available to the Indians. What has happened after that? So I will start after the independence. After independence, you know, in 47 we got it. And in 1945, Japan was totally smashed. You know, the nuclear bomb was dropped at Nagasaki and Hiroshima. And What has happened to that entire world after the World War II? So one very old story, 1955, एक आदमी परेशान था, बिजनेस से परेशान था बहुत। मैं हिंदी बोलूंगा ताकि आपको फील आएगा थोड़ा। हिंदी गिव्स यू पंच ऑफ द, जैसे हम कभी कहते हैं कि आई एम प्लीज बट मजा आ गया, तो वर्ड में थोड़ा सा आपको फर्क पड़ेगी। आई एम सॉरी, आई एम टेकिंग लिटिल लॉन्गर टाइम बिकॉज इट हैज टू बी अंडरस्टूड प्रॉपर्ली। तो एक आदमी अपने बिजनेस से परेशान हो गया, हताश हो गया, और उसने सुसाइड करने की सोचा। उस बिजनेसमैन ने एक मार्केट से पिस्टल लिया, घर में आके फैमिली से बातचीत करके सब कुछ नॉर्मल लगा। उसने रूम बंद किया, अपना रूम, और उसने अपने कनपट्टी के ऊपर में, जो टेम्पल होता है उसके ऊपर में पिस्टल से फायर किया। द बुलेट डिडंट कम आउट, बुलेट निकली नहीं। ही अटेम्प्टेड ट्वाइस, but bullet didn't come out. And he looked at the pistol. It was written "Made in Japan." Such was the worst quality of Japan, the poor quality. So the evolution of quality movement, Japanese started that unless we bring our quality, we will not be able to market our product. And what they did, they started, sharing the same knowledge what we had lost. Forming quality circle means they will be discussing within the companies what qualities they have done it on, what quality is. So that is the quality circle they started, and we have copied that quality circle now. Quality circle of Forum of India is now established in Hyderabad. I am surprised that many branches have been opened, but this QCFI or quality circle in the companies operating for the quality improvement, they are only doing nothing. I have seen myself, my team were participating with the manipulating data. Why? Because we have started a competition. We started giving prize in the quality. So that is how the culture of our knowledge sharing gone and copying started, imitating the foreign culture. Indians sharing of knowledge stopped, and see the boom of the quality which developed the Japanese, Sony, Toyota, Toshiba, Nippon, is all you can understand how big they have started. And then what happened? The Deming, you must be knowing that Deming was an American fellow. He gave a lecture. Taguchi, Deming, Juran, so many quality groups came up. And that they started. And in Deming, he said, that's a very important statement which I would like to make it. More than 99% of the employees of any organization understand how to produce quality product, but less than 1% knows how to reject or accept. Everybody is scared. No worker can reject the casting unless his boss or his inspector feels. So no one has got authority to accept reject it, but everyone has authority to accept. So he said that empower 100% employees to accept or reject by little investment on their knowledge. That was the mantra. And I remember one story of the Toyota. He said Toyota, there was one stop button production line. Anybody from chairman to doorman, he can stop it if he feels that the quality is getting missed out. So they say that we have to empower our employees to whether accept or reject it. And if you feel this, if you give this responsibility to the individual worker, blue collar worker who produces, he will be doubly sure to make it a quality. Train all and remove all departmental boundaries. We have made departments, so many departments. Unless my quality management system or the quality inspection department or quality assurance department, he tells me I will not do that. So that kind of boundary we have created by copying the points. So concept of total quality management was brought by the at Deming. I said doorman to chairman. This is the word which I have given. Total means 100% employees are responsible to accept the company, not accept, reject the company. Everyone thinks only towards pleasing and satisfying customers. The whole objective of the organization is to please the customers make it happy. How it's possible? I'll tell you my story. Second story, my gatekeeper. मैं VRD में अहमदनगर में था और I was working on metal matrix composite casting. Silicon carbide is to be added, and I was to get some particles, silicon carbide, which are imported particles. So I talked to one gentleman. Those days, no mobile phone. 1992 की बात कर रहा हूँ, 91 के साथ की बात। मुझे मोबाइल फोन नहीं था। डिफेंस में मैं था, तो डिफेंस में सिर्फ आपको गेट पे और इंटरकॉम मिलती है एंड लैंडलाइन मिलती है। तो जिस व्यक्ति को आना था मुझसे मिलने के लिए, सिलिकॉन कार्बाइड लेके के आना था, वो मेरे से मिलने के लिए टाइम हमने बोला 2 बजे आएंगे। वो 2 बजे पहुंच गया था। मैंने कहा लंच के बाद मिलेंगे, और 2 बजे मिलने के बाद में मैं इंतजार करता रहा, वो आया नहीं। तो मैंने गेट पे फोन किया, भाई क्यों कोई आया नहीं? क्या? बोले नहीं साहब, कोई नहीं आया। उस आदमी का नाम लेके मैंने बताया। जब उसने बोला कोई नहीं आया, और वापस वो आदमी जो है वेट करता रहा और चला गया वापस, क्योंकि हमारे दोनों के बीच में कम्युनिकेशन नहीं हो पाई, उसको एंट्री नहीं मिला आने की। और मैं वेट कर रहा था दूसरी जगह पे। जब वो आदमी नेक्स्ट डे अपने ऑफिस पहुंच गया, तब मुझे फोन करता है लैंडलाइन से कि साहब मैं बहुत देर वेट करता रहा, आधा घंटा, मुझे गेट कीपर आने नहीं। मैंने कैसे हुआ आपके साथ में? बोला पहले मैं तो कार से मैं गया था, तो उसने कहा क्या कि ए साहब इधर आओ, इधर बैठो, ये डिफेंस स्टैब्लिशमेंट है, अंदर नहीं घुस सकता है, तुमको पहले परमिशन है कि नहीं है। उसने ऐसा मुझे डराया, तो मैं चुपचाप आके बैठ गया। और गेट कीपर बोला नहीं साहब फ्री नहीं है। बैठा रहा, बहुत देर बैठा रहा। उसने बताया कि मैं साहब 15-20 मिनट तक इंतजार करता, फिर मैं उसका कैसे कॉन्टेक्ट करूँ, आपका तो मोबाइल फोन भी नहीं है और लैंडलाइन भी नहीं, उस समय मेरे पास में था, फोन भी नहीं करना था मुझे। और वो व्यक्ति ने, गेटकीपर ने, उसको इतना बॉसिज्म दिखाया उसके ऊपर में, कहता तुम इधर साइन करो, तुमको उतर के आना पड़ेगा, बैठना पड़ेगा इधर, गाड़ी से उतरो, पहले इधर आके साइन करो, तब बैठो इधर, तब परमिशन मिलेगी। तुम्हारा 50 जगह पूछा उसने क्वेश्चन। तो मैं थक गया और मैं वापस आ गया। So I lost my opportunity of making some components with that silicon carbide particles. It was purely because of that gatekeeper. So can you think that it happens in India? And we were ISO 9001 certified. I'm surprised. When this is the way we are working the boundary. And the foreigners have confused us so much with the quality word, the quality system they brought it. There are so many systems. I tell you Six Sigma, then they will bring you this ISO 9000, then they will bring you CQY 27. This is the one quality system. And then they brought a quality assurance, which is slightly different, and you always get some rejection. You will never get 100% quality. Then they brought quality control system, inspection department. Earlier we were there. Then quality guarantee for the group of the products, and the quality warranty for a particular individual. So much of confusion is this known to my worker who is producing his quality. I call it the old tools of Q control. The Japanese brought so much of the statistical data, and they brought control chart, run chart, Pareto chart, flow chart, Ishikawa diagram, Hodgkin fish diagram. I will not go into this because these old tools still existing and many foundries are following. But yes, this gives you some idea, but to what extent we need to accept. Say for example, this is run chart, and we call it statistical quality control. This is one of the techniques by which you get a rate. This is trend of the, after the event has taken place, after the castings have been made, we get this kind of trend. And some search comes, then we start concluding that that process. By the time you control it, the other process comes like that. So this run chart has got no meaning. I'll tell you why. Because the statistical quality control methods produce product inspection and processing monitoring. We get it only after the inspection. The statistical data collected, analyzed, and represented to solve quality problems. It's a cure method. So the whole process was new invented, like statistical process control (SPC). That includes the prevention of defects by applying statistical methods to control. So SPC is a prevention method, SPC is a cure method. So we should prevent it first. That was the whole principle. We brought it in the many of the statistical quality control techniques. But how is it effective? Statistical quality control in nutshell is, if you look at the variation, special slightly this printed chart. I'm sorry for that. So every process varies. आप जब गंगा में पानी नहाने जाते हो तो गंगा का पानी जब निकालते हो उस समय का पानी और बाद में 5 मिनट के बाद पानी लाओगे उसके बाद में कितना चेंज हो गया गंगा का पानी फ्लो में बह गया पता नहीं चलता है तो मैनी टाइम्स वी फोकस ऑन द डेटा डेटा पे हमको ऐसा मिला है इसलिए बाय द टाइम द प्रोसेस इज गॉन ऑलरेडी गॉन एंड यू क्योर इट सो दिस इज द देयर इज ऑलवेज अ गैप बिटवीन द प्रोसेस कंट्रोल एंड द क्वालिटी कंट्रोल एंड द स्टैटिस्टिकल कंट्रोल that gap, how to bring it online, that's a challenge. So there are many common cause variations and the normal variations also. So we put a band, top and bottom, and we try to make a narrow range. Suppose my one steel composition is from 0.220 to 0.30. So I will try to keep it in the middle of the 0.25. And but range is from 2.2 to 0.3. There is a big range. Now this range of carbon creates a lot of change in the properties. So we have to band operate it within as narrow as possible. If that can be done, that's the best. So factors causing variations in the quality in the foundry, I'll say the human consciousness. Human is to act. मनुष्य हमेशा गलती करता ही है. आप कितना भी आप 100% रहेंगे, आपकी मेंटल स्टेट जो होती है वो अलग हो जाती है. सवेरे से शाम तक की आपका मूड चेंज हो जाता है. सवेरे से शाम तक की आपकी behavior change. There are many unconscious activities we do. For example, we are breathing, but we don't know we are breathing. We blink our eyes, we don't know we are blinking our eyes. So many things which are happening. Sometimes unconsciously we scratch our head. So this is happening. So this happens because it's the automatic process controlled by our brain. But that has got influence on the human skill variation also. The scale of measurement is different. I'll tell you one story here, very nice story. मैं एक बार यूएसए में गया और वहां थोड़ा सा बीमार हो गया मैं मुझे टेम्परेचर थी डॉक्टर से मैंने बताया कि मुझे बुखार भी है और मुझे सर दर्द भी है उसने बुखार तो मेजर कर लिया इट वाज अबाउट 99.8 कुछ था उसका बोला आपको हेडेक कितना मैंने कहा बहुत हेडेक है बोले बहुत कितना है कैन यू क्वांटिफाई आई सेड व्हाट इज द स्केल देन ही सेज टेल मी 1 to 10 scale में कितना आपको हेडेक so if I said that I have got 1 means you can tolerate it 2 means slightly intolerable 3 means like that he explained me I made my own scale that time for headache and I said I have got about 7 to 8 right? Then he understood what kind of medicine it's not that the medicine is common for everything but there are hundreds of there are maybe number of tablets for the headache but he will give you depending on the scale of the measurement of the head. That's a beautiful. There are so many places where we can do it from 1 to 5 scale. Say for example, हमको बहुत तीखा चाहिए खाने में. तीखा कितना चाहिए? Can I make it 1 to 5? Like that, there are many things which we express in quality wise. Can I digitize this? That is the one way. The calibration of instruments, wear and tear, variation environment, we do not take care of this. Many cheatings are going on. The cheating is so much that they try to manipulate these readings. I have seen myself, my one of the component failing because I got a inspection done by one quality control person and he said it's okay sir and he didn't do the calibration. So calibration they try to, Indians are very very smart in bypassing the rules and also smart in answering convincingly. That's the one way which we have to work on. Variation in atmosphere, the temperature, pressure, vibrations of the earth, of the machines. There are so many things unknown I said. We have to treat this unknown. That's the reason why I said it's a dotted line I have put. It's through the research. Variation in equipment, machines, power. You know, even with the voltage fluctuation, the machines operate at different speeds. Say, for example, you've got a molding machine And if slightly voltage fluctuates between 230 to 250 degree voltage, you know the flow of the sand, you know the pressure, all changes has got impact, but we ignore it. That has got impact on the quality, on the ranges, on the accuracy. Vibration in ecosystem. External factors, for example, uncertainty, I told you. There are many uncertainties which I told you from the beginning itself of the failure of my net on the first scheduled lecture. So this is way what we say that, and I can create hundreds of questions in the foundry, which we for the foundry, which we have been ignoring and still we thinking. So how to get excellence in process? You know, input is important. The process in there is input and there is a process and there is output. There are three factors only in any process. So input is the raw materials, humans, machines, all the inputs, power, everything goes in. The garbage in, garbage out like computer. So if your input is controlled properly and the process what you are doing that is also defined properly, then your output definitely will be better. Now what is happening nowadays? We are trying to put them over. So there are a lot of many inconsistencies in the foundries. From batch to batch, the raw materials which we get, uh, the measurements which we do it from the one weighing machine to other weighing machine. We try to take care of these things, but in real sense, it's not happening. That's one of the reasons. We also brought Six Sigma concept in the country, and many foundries and many companies they feel proud of giving this statement that we are Six Sigma. The Six Sigma, let me tell you about introduce this. It was brought by the Bill Smith while working in Motorola in 1996 and Motorola of Japan. And it remained for almost 10 years in secret because they were not explaining to outside because of fear from the losing business. So later on they revealed after making business that oh, this is such a beautiful technique, we should release to the world. Now Six Sigma concept followed, Taguchi method, Juran methods, Pareto methods controlled by the Japanese, and if we copy it same way, it's like that human nature is copying something different because they have been grown differently. They've been their lifestyle is different. In Japan, they say that people say that if you do mistake, they repent so much. They sometimes do suicide, हिराकुरी कहते कर लेते हैं. इन इंडिया में अगर आप किसी को कुछ बोल दोगे तुमसे गलती हुआ तो आपको चाकू ठोक देगा, आपको मर्डर कर देगा. So that's the cultural difference. So if there is a cultural difference, is that cultural that religion is following, should we adopt that culture without changing our nature? That's my question. So a lot of statistical method to calculate the increment. When they have done it, it's a very tedious process of Six Sigma controlling. And they have classified white, green, black, print, etc. And they have made it as nowadays so many trainers are there, they are making money from this training part. But how much it is effective on the ground floor to the blue collar worker, question. The Six Sigma gives you 3.4 defects in 1 minute. They accept it that in 1 million pieces if you produce 3.4 defect pieces. This technique is not, I mean, many of people must be knowing. I will not go into detail, but just I'm giving you. So I'll tell you one Mumbai, it's a story of Mumbai Dabba Wala. You know Dabba Wala, Mumbai Dabba Wala, जो लंच पहुंचाते हैं, लंच बॉक्स पहुंचाते हैं मुंबई, वो लोकल ट्रेन जाते हैं और सबके घर से डब्बा लेके आते हैं और जो काम करते हैं उनके ऑफिस में पहुंचाते हैं, लेकिन कभी भी किसी का एक दिन का भी डब्बा चेंज नहीं, एंड देयर आर लैक्स ऑफ डब्बास. So what happened? One Brixus wanted to do the research that how these illiterate guys, जिनको पढ़े लिखे नहीं है, थंब वाले हैं, कोई मार्किंग नहीं आता है, कुछ नहीं आता है, और कैसे वो without any defect, without any missing any customer, they are serving it. So this came on some paper. So the British team came to study that Dabbawala, and they said that hats off to this Dabbawala, they operated probably more than 12 sigma. This was their statement by illiterates. So who is teacher there? That's my question. So this is all because of the one fact which I'll tell you the secret last. So building excellence in process is not by accident. Excellence never comes by accident. or by chance. Performing continually consistent. Suppose आपको एक बार ओलंपिक में गोल्ड मेडल मिल गया और आप उससे खुश हो गए और सेकंड टाइम बोला रेफरी ने कि नहीं, फिर से दौड़ना पड़ेगा, तो आपको क्या हो जाएगा? You will not be able to get probably. Sometimes we have got so much of anxiety and fear. So performing continuously in consistency is a great challenge, and how to do it, it happens only when we take it by heart. We take it the worker, the individual worker, we are not focusing much on our individual work. We are focusing more on the paperwork. We are all Indians are paper types. By mindset paper. So mindset is very different word. Mind and mindset. Mind means continuous thinking process, and set means change. There is no change. I will not accept any change. So sometimes this is happening in our Indian. So mind, we should not set our mind. It should be fluid. Thinking should be fluid, continuously flowing. So controlling all input parameters. Example is adjusting milk composition. जब हमको मिल्क हम मैं बता रहा हूँ 1985 की स्टोरी बता रहा हूँ. I was working on in that furnace and making a travesty. Those days no spectrometer था ही नहीं उस समय और कुछ कंपोजिशन करने से तो हमारे पास क्रूड मेथड था. I used to take out the samples in the spoon, flash it on the ground on the metal floor, and then break it. And how many times I am able to break it? By the number of turns I am making, I was able to break the carbon cut. That was my technique, and my prediction used to come perfectly all right. I never missed my milk composition. So people started talking to me how you don't miss any composition, because by the time you take out the milk and by the time the foundry gets ready for the pouring, there is some time gap, and that time gap the composition goes for 6. That happens. So how do we adjust this? There are so many skills inside. I'll tell you one story of Amrit Tulli tea. Amrit Tulli, you know, Amrit means nectar. तो कहते हैं कि अमृत मतलब कि जो जिससे पी लेने से मरता नहीं है. महाराष्ट्र में ये बहुत फेमस है अमृत अमृत तुल्य टी. Yavarle Amrit Tulli, Salgar Amrit Tulli. There are so many Amrit Tulli tea, the chain of tea vendors. One day it happened that myself and my friend we went to one shop at Amrit Tulli. I said, काफी दिखता है इसका क्या चीज है क्या. Let's have a experiment test it. मैं गया वहां पर. हम दोनों साथी थे साथ में खड़े थे. तो हमको जल्दी भी थी थोड़ा सा. हमने कहा भाई तैयार नहीं है क्या? बोले नहीं साहब आपको 2 मिनट लगेगा. मैं रुक गया वहां पर और जो आदमी चाय बना रहा था वो लड़का था हार्डली अबाउट 13 से 14 साल का. और जो उसका मैनेजर उसके बाजू में बैठा हुआ था जो कूपन मारता था. आई टुक ए कूपन वेटिंग देयर और काफी चाय जब उबल गई तो मैंने कहा भाई अब तो उतार लो तो होता है चाय तो रेडी हो गया. तो उस लड़के ने उतारना शुरू कर दिया मेरे कहने पे. अचानक उधर से साउटिंग आता उसका मैनेजर रुको. तो मैं उसकी तरफ देखने लगा कि क्यों रुको अभी 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 10 सेकंड बचा हुआ है. I didn't know that what is the meaning of 10 seconds. So I went to him. I said, what you said 10 minutes क्या होता है? बोला मैं नीचे घड़ी देख रहा हूँ कि boiling time कितना है. If I boil it for more time, then it becomes a bit bitter. And if I boil it for less time, it becomes a slightly not tasty. So this boiling time of tea is controlled by the American tea. This I could get from that gentleman. For every process, so much of accuracy is required. That's what learning. I mean, for a milk we can make. How much we are losing the composition sometimes. I saw one of the objective and problems of the NCTs. I will talk now about the NCT. This is the National Center for Technology. There, one of the objectives is difficulty in customers understanding. It's a very dynamic word. Because customers' behavior change. One story, another story. I hope people are not getting bored because this is another story by which we can make our product. And Chinese are following. एक मेरा साथी बॉम्बे ट्रांसफर हो गया, गवर्नमेंट ऑफिसर बॉम्बे में ट्रांसफर हो गया. तो रात में फैमिली के साथ में पहुंचा रात को करीब 9:30 क्वार्टर में ताला खोल के सामान सेट कर. सोने के वक्त में उसकी वाइफ बोलती है कि अरे कल दूध सवेरे का चाय चाहिए, चाय कहाँ से? तो उसके बोला जाके देखेंगे, सवेरे उठेंगे तो साथ में देख लेंगे, जाके देखेंगे, कोई ना कोई तो होगा, बेचता ही होगा। और सवेरे उनकी नींद खुलती है और जैसे ही चाय चाहो जाकर के देखो तो कहते हैं फिर चाय बनाएंगे। ऐसा बोलते ही उसकी वाइफ की दरवाजे पे एक नॉक होता है। वाइफ जाके खोलती दरवाजा, सामने देखा कि दूध का डब्बा लिए हुए एक मिल्कमैन खड़ा। बोली तो सरप्राइज हो गई कि मैंने भी थोड़ी देर पहले अपने हस्बैंड को बोली थी कि बाहर जाओ और दूध लेके आओ, और तो भगवान ने अपने आप भेज दिया दूध वाले को। और दूध वाला ने तो बोला कि मैं, बोले कि आपको पता कैसे चला कि हम यहाँ पे आए हुए? बोला मैं रोज सामने वाले को दूध देता हूँ फ्लैट में, सामने मेरे सामने वो है, और उसमें रोज देखता था कि इसमें ताला लगा होता है फ्लैट में। तो सोचा कि आज देखा ताला खुला हुआ है, सोचा कि नए लोग आए हैं, हो सकता है आपको दूध की जरूरत पड़ेगी, इसलिए मैंने नॉक किया। सॉरी, चाहिए क्या आपको? बोले हाँ हाँ, मुझे चाहिए। तो आज आप 1 लीटर ले लीजिए, और आपको अच्छा लगेगा तो हम कंटिन्यू करेंगे, कल देखिएगा, और नहीं तो नहीं लगेगा तो छोड़, ठीक है। दूध 1 लीटर ले ली। अपने हस्बैंड से बोली क्या मिरेकल हो गया, और उसने वाजी दूध पूरे थिक मलाई के साथ, वाइफ वाज वेरी हैप्पी, भगवान ने दूध वाले को अच्छा दे दिया, बहुत ही मलाई किया, रेट वाज आल्सो क्वाइट गुड। उसके बाद क्या हुआ कि वो चलता रहा, नेक्स्ट 1 वीक हो गया, 2 वीक हो गया, 3 वीक के बाद में जब चौथा वीक आया तो दूध की थोड़ी पतला होना शुरू। तो वाइफ ने कंप्लेन किया उसको, मिल्कमैन, कि इट्स वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग, आई टेल यू, दिस इज सीक्रेट अंडरस्टैंडिंग द कंज्यूमर नीड, प्लीज पे अटेंशन। वाइफ ने बोली कि दूध पतला हो रहा है ग्वाले को, तो ग्वाले ने बोला कि मैडम कल ठीक हो जाएगा। मैंने दूध में गाय को थोड़ा हरा चारा चारा खिला दिया था, कल से मैं दूंगा, भूसा दूंगा खाने की, ठीक हो जाएगा। और रियली नेक्स्ट डे the दूध quality was better. So what has happened in one day? Was it really the effect of the chara or the taste of the individual? I'll tell you the secret. What happened? That milkman was so smart. He was trying to understand the behavior of the consumer, understanding the quality requirement of the consumer. फर्स्ट दिन जब दिया उसने तो 1 लीटर में उसने एक कप पानी मिला था, और 1 वीक तक कंटिन्यू कर रहा। सेकेंड वीक में उसने 2 कप पानी मिला, कंटिन्यू कर रहा। थर्ड वीक तक जब चलाया, कंटिन्यू कर रहा। फोर्थ वीक में 4 कप जब पानी मिला तब बेचारा पतला हो। तब उसने क्या किया कि ही न्यू दैट अप टू 3 कप्स ऑफ वाटर मिक्सिंग was not he was not able to she was not able to catch me, so he changed his composition, formulation, and brought 1 liter milk में 3 कप पानी मिला, कप का जो साइज, and then he continued the business with that. So that was the secret of his business. When he monitored the consumer behavior, and that's what Chinese are doing. They are producing so many qualities for the Asian countries different, for the poor countries, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, India different. What we are looking only sasta. That is the one thing which I would like to do. So difficulty in customers understanding, from this story you can make out how do I understand my customer, what he likes. Many times I also say that is it a definition of quality? I generally question. Meeting specification requirement, faith of user, competitive cost reliability, customer satisfaction, fitness for use, best for. I mean, so many definitions are there, which I'll not go. But very important thing I will tell you, there are 750 crore people in the world. The world's population is 750 crore. And same number of definitions. Why? Because every individual mind is different. Like that lady, milkman, and lady student. So this is different one. And what he thinks, you think, your worker may not think the same. What you think, your subordinate may not think in that. There will always be a gap of understanding. So it differs like nature and signature. So quality definition is different. That lady was asking for 3 cups of water. Another fellow might not have asked for maybe 2 cups of water. So whatever way is there, that is always a variation in the understanding and requirement. And I say it is like a thumb, never changes. Iris of a person never changes, even if you are twins, and the brain cells also do not change. Every individual is different. So same way, every quality is different. Everybody is different. So this we have to standardize. How to standardize? That's a question mark. So understanding of quality is my definition. Quality is indefinable, but understand. एक अनपढ़ जब जाती है सब्जी टमाटर लेने के लिए मैं देखता हूँ चुनती है आई आज व्हाट यू चेक फ्रॉम वन लेडी स्पीकिंग ऑफ सम tomatoes from a basket in a vegetable shop. I ask what you check. I check if it's correct देखता हूँ correct कितना है. So that is understandable. You can define the color, you can define the size, you can define all things, but the feel which the person gets to satisfy that varies from mind to mindset. I have always that's very important. So why we need to statistical process control need to be built by every so you have to make your own SPC and SPC. You both have to go simultaneously. You see basic and supplement दोनों ही चाहिए आपको कि हमें क्या प्रॉब्लम हो रहा है और कहीं कम हो जाता है तो कैसे हम so it's a challenge. You cannot just having ISO 9000 marks and you can manage. So it's now I'll talk about the data, which we talk about SPC. To build a SPC, you need to have it. I have made it as a data analytics, not data analytics. There is some difference. So analytics means effective and productive. Is your data is effective and productive? Comprehensive overview of quality process. We check it by our process, by quality. Whatever we are following the boundary. We are using already some statistical process control to get the early information about the process condition. Yes, we do. We also do the validation information. Yes, example. But how much reliable is the data? और डेटा मतलब मैं इसको हिंदी बोलता दाता दाता मैंने भगवान जिसके पास आज दाता है वो भगवान है बिकॉज टुडे एवरीबॉडी इज लुकिंग फॉर द होल वर्ल्ड इज लुकिंग फॉर डेटा यू सी द बिजनेस प्रोफेशन डेटा एनालिटिक्स going up and up. How to validate the data, how to ensure the data is correct. I'll tell you one story. Story number 5. I was working in a foundry, I will not name it, as a foundry engineer. And my role was to produce the casting, steel casting and cast iron casting both in a shop. And next day, after pouring, every day the owner will come. And he will see personally see कितने कास्टिंग रिजेक्ट हुए और कितने कास्टिंग और जो रिजेक्ट हो जाता है एक भी पीस तो बहुत ही गलत बहुत ही absurd in style language to the worker, to me and to that जो contractor था उसको भी देते थे. So everybody was scared of him. What we started, we found a new technique how to get rid of this fellow. तो अगर हमने 5 पॉइंट पहले ही बनाते थे और अगर 5 से रिजेक्ट हो गया तो बाहर कर उसको बताते नहीं थे और जो कास्टिंग डिफेक्ट होता था तो उसको छुपा देते थे तो सर 100 में 100 निकल गया एंड दैट डेटा आई यूज्ड टू बी वेरी हैप्पी यूज्ड टू फील हैप्पी so like that there are so many things happening. I tell you in my shop gas cylinder consumption of gas cylinder I used to measure how much scrap he has cut from fettling shop. You know fettling shop पे जहाँ से हम राइजर से नल काटते थे तो हम उसका आउटपुट देखते थे कितना वो गैस कंज्यूम किया है और कितने कास्टिंग किया है. What that fellow will do, he will release all the oxygen in the atmosphere and remove and sleep in the night shift. And he'll say कि सर आज गैस खत्म हो गया था इतने करें. And if I say कि इतने छोटे कैसे नहीं इस राइजर मोटा था इसमें ये राइजर पतला था इसमें गैस कम लगता है इसमें ज़्यादा लगता है. He was very smart. Indians are very smart in convincing us. They are very good in answering. That's a validation of data. So do we get correct data in the foundry? But these are some secrets I'm telling you today with my experience. So critical data validation in the foundry is very important. Build site, weighing of raw material is very important. Composition of raw material. Sometimes we add ferrosilicon and ferromanganese and we believe that that fellow has got 70% of silicon content or 70% of manganese. 70 to 75% generally is the silicon content in ferromanganese and ferrosilicon, etc. But it must be changing batch to batch. Probably we believe in the certificate chemical composition he gives us and we follow it. and ultimately results in our final completion. We blame the mentor, we blame the mental person. There are so many variations in the net side, and I can question hundreds of questions and hundreds of processes. Can you think? When time wins, by the time molds are ready and melting is not taking place, mold gets cooled and many defects comes. Time measurement, melting, cooling, etc. There's so many. So, and similarly from mold side, tolerances of pattern actual mold size varies. I'll tell you one example, very interesting. I had to make a plate of about 8 millimeters cast for certain purpose. So I said 8, no minus. You can keep it up to 1%, 8 to 9 millimeters. And the rate was fixed on the plate base, number of plate. So what he said, no, sir, I will give you on the weight basis, not on the plate, because the thickness variation will change. I found that that fellow is purposely making 8, 9, sometimes 8.8 to 8.9, because he wants to sell you more scrap, more material. So this is the weight we use sometimes. It can be controlled a narrow band of the dimension from the both side and the pattern side. Yes, we keep tolerances of human skin, machine error, vibration, human things are there. But yes, we have to consciously. I mean, there are plenty of, I can tell you. So, following quality QMS certification, uh, this was one of the charm in 1990s. Because this came first time in India, 90, ISO 9001, International Standard of Organization, ISO 90. And there was Madras. Then I was myself in management. The auditor will come and he'll ask question, what is your quality policy? What is your quality objective? And he said that he will ask to even workers. I started training my worker when a messenger जो मुझे चाय पिला पानी का अनलिमिटेड आदमी था उसको मैं कैसे क्वालिटी ऑब्जेक्टिव दिखाऊं कैसे क्वालिटी पॉलिसी दिखाऊं और उसको देख करके उसको उसको करवाते थे हम लोग और हम आईएसओ लेते थे। ये आईएसओ जो है वो एक विदेशियों का एक तरीका हो गया है। द ग्राउंड रियलिटी ऑफ क्वालिटी इज हैंड ऑफ ब्लू कॉलर which constitutes of almost 70%, maybe 70 to 80%. And we do auditing only at the top. There is a big gap. What we represent the quality and what we produce the quality. We have to think. What is the relevance of ISO certificate? ISO certificates we are getting it from the 5,000 to even 2 lakh, 3 lakh also. Depends upon the which organization. It has become so cheap. In Delhi, you go, everybody has got ISO. So he's the work first company. Some gives importance of quality ISO 90, particularly government organization. I was very critic about this. On paper you show everything, and on ground reality everything. The importance of does it really help in improving quality, reducing costs? That we have to question. Yes, continuous improvement we talk, but time gets consumed in documentation which is non-valuable. Yes, you do it with the due respect to my other and certifying agency and founding those who have it. You have it this one for business purpose required, but give more importance to your blue collar. Certification business agencies make money as third party trust. Why third party? People produce that. Indian mindset about quality is like that. Indians have been limiting quality concept. Imitating quality. We have been copying all these techniques we have copied from the foreigners. And the day we started copying, we have lost it. We should think always. We feel that Wests are best. That is a wrong concept. Yeah, they are good in certain things. They are good in learning. They are good in understanding. They are good in honesty. They are good in following discipline. We are bad. We are always manipulated. That's the question mark we have to think. I am the best concept missing. If workers think that I am the best, that concept comes like a artisan feels art. It's my art. My art is art. That way we can. We have been a quality follower rather than quality. And say so far India was a quality leader pre-independence, and later on we have become a quality leader. India was quality leader. Later on we have become quality. We are only copying Taguchi, Juran, Demi, Pareto, etc. Can I produce Indian Juran? Can I produce Indian Taguchi? Can we bring it in concept? That's my question to all. This is a very one interesting story which I would like to tell. Understanding of Q understanding. Quality understanding. This is another example, story. I was in defense and डिफेंस में डीआरडीओ में जब जब भी डिग्निटरीज बाहर से आते थे तो वहां पर हम शाम को एक बैंक्वेट रखते थे, डिनर रखते थे और उसमें सबको ट्रेन किया जाता है कि तुमको क्या सर्व करना है, क्या सर्व करना है। वेरी प्रोफेशनल वे ऑफ ऑफिसर्स। इफ यू गेट द चांस any officers match that you in the defense establishment, you feel different, you feel related. It's a different quality. Everybody is so disciplined, understanding what's to be done, automatic process. So one day, what happened? I was accompanied with one of the officers from the Lal Bahadur Shastri, IS Academy, and he came for the dinner on that day. And I had my one officer. He said, "मैं पूछा क्या लेंगे आप?" Normally people start with a thing, but he said, "नहीं, मैं आज ब्लू पानी." So I told my staff officer to get lemon water. And उस दिन जो वेटर था, वेटर जो उसको नया वो गांव से लेके पकड़ के लाया था क्योंकि उसके आदमी कम पड़ गया, जो था काम करने वाला क्योंकि ज्यादा लोग थे पार्टिसिपेंट सॉरी डिनर में। तो उसमें उसने एक नया हायर कर तो बोला कि तुम लेमन पानी लेके आओ। उसने जिंदगी में पहाड़ का लड़का कभी जिंदगी में देखा नहीं था कि लेमन पानी होता क्या। उसने एक ट्रे में एक लेमन और एक पानी का ग्लास लिया। Then I got annoyed. I said, "What is this? Sir, आपने नींबू और पानी मांगा था, वन नींबू और पानी लाते हो." He never used that it is cut and mixed, and he tries to bring it and add it also because he was not trained. So that is also and that I find for organization. So that quality concept is very important. So Chinese quality principle, what they say. I have seen the Chinese how they follow very carefully. I have been following since the day started our conflict. A meaningless ISO 9000. They don't give value to. They say no, we don't want ISO. No certification. They say the key philosophy of principle is my business attractive to this customer? This particular customer, that milkman story, is that lady is continuing. Am I able to satisfy? Am I capable of delivering as needed? That is their concept. तो सभी तरह की प्रोडक्ट बनाते हैं. Define requirement before production starts. That's their mantra. And what they are looking, they customer satisfaction, कॉस्ट कम होना चाहिए, सुंदर दिखना चाहिए, अवेलेबल होना चाहिए, रिलायबल होना चाहिए, ड्यूरेबल होना चाहिए, सस्ता, सुंदर और टिकाऊ. ये हम इंडियंस खोज रहे हैं और इंडियंस ये सब जब हमको चाइनीज दे रही सस्ता. आई हैव सीन इन यूएस जो हम चलाते हैं दिवालियों में जो घड़ी लगाते हैं माला लाइट की थिकनेस कितनी पतली होती है कि लगाते लगाते आधा कंप्यूटर टूट जाता है. एंड वेरी चीप. I used to bring it in 10 rupees, 15 rupees, one piece, one just 5-6 feet long. And by the time you put it on your railings or somewhere, कहीं snap निकल जाता है, खराब हो. But it was very cheap and it was being sold. Chinese are making that component. But same thing which when I saw it in US, I saw the very thick one. Even if you do by 6, why so? Because they know that the Americans will not. They are not looking only for sasta. They are also looking for and reliable. So that concept, they are selling 4 or 5 grades of quality for different countries. Chinese. They are also working on economy of scale. They speak different talk. And how to minimize the waste? They are looking for this. It's very important. Of course, Japanese technique. Visible and invisible waste. Visible means materials you see, only rejected casting you see, but energy which is lost in the time of not only money but efforts, time which inconsistency, any uneven color, texture, materials. I remember and read also sometimes. Earlier, you must be knowing one material called biotite. Biotite is a mica powder. If you mix it with the welding sand of cast iron, it gives you shininess like silver. So we have lost it. And that shining was attracting the customer, particularly in the decoration. So, I mean, how they are managing. And inconsistency, then irrationality with those things which are difficult to do, things that don't make any sense, takes a lot of physical efforts, causes undue fatigue. There's so many things which you should avoid. And we can avoid definitely. We can definitely avoid it if you do that. So waste elimination, what I see, any anything which adds to the cost without adding that we have to do. Any process or any step which can be removed without affecting the product. And the forms of waste are mistakes and blunders. It is human error, mistakes and blunder. How we can do it? Mistakes and blunder we call it reject, scrap. Effective production में rework करना पड़ेगा. And waste of time and waiting, transportation stock, waste of time and rework. So input material energy, output will be product and waste. My equation. So this waste is in various form. What you question your method, the system challenge the system status quo. That how I can challenge, we call it a 5 Ws and 1 H. 5 Ws and 1 H is, I'll explain to you later on why, what, where, when. Please, we should question ourselves and find out the answer. In every stage, design, processing, inspection, waiting time, stocking, and transit handling also. So this is what we can look for the 5 Ws 1H, which I'll explain to you separately in my next subsequent slide. Understanding quality gap in quality handling. There is always a gap in understanding and communication instruction, particularly with the Indian laborers. What you communicate to your boss and what you communicate to your workers, who are different minds. So how we understand the mind of your labor. I tell you, this has happened with me. I lost almost 7 lakh rupees with the 6 to 7 month time in the project. That was delayed, caused tremendous loss, and I was reprimanded. What happened? You see, there is one XLR. This was their casting, and I was developing one tank. You know, tank is like a infantry combat vehicle, backed vehicle. Like tank तो जानते हो. उसमें एक तरफ वो लगता है व्हील लगता है वो भी व्हील निकालो एंड दिस साइड इज एन टॉर्शन बार दोनों के बीच में यहाँ पर ये एक बैलेंसिंग आर्म होता है तो हम एक्सल आर्म करते हैं ये एक्सल आर्म की कास्टिंग बनाते हैं तो इसके अंदर हमेशा श्रिंकेज आती थी पाइपिंग श्रिंकेज बिकॉज द क्रॉस सेक्शन वाज ऑलमोस्ट 4 inches. And I tried various methods, but I was not successful. So I thought of making from Fuji. I made from Fuji and given a company to the Pune. I was in Ahmednagar at that time, and we had taken all precautions, machine. And there is one place we call it a journal. This place is journal, which is grounded, very polished like lapping करते थे उसको वहाँ पर बेरिंग बैक और मैंने अपने असिस्टेंट को बोला कि जा रहे हो लाने के प्लस वेट द he placed the order which was costing about 75 around 35-40,000 rupees and when I told my staff who was engineer I said bring it carefully particularly the bearing part which got that general part where the bearing is assembled. I sent a truck, small truck, along with that gentleman who was engineer that he takes care of that is in mechanical. And I said, better wrap it with a gunny bag or something, papers or cardboard, something like that. So that while bringing the transport, it should not strike to each other and get damaged. In spite of all this, he took all precautions. And it so happened that he was returning. He said, "Sir, I have collected everything safe, very nicely." At they reached around 5 o'clock in my office, and that office was closed. And along with him, there were two laborers also sent to handle that. When they brought it near the workshop, and I was waiting for the inspection, sorry, for the information that I'll go and see that. So I felt a sound of tham tham आवाज आना शुरू हुई मुझे पता नहीं क्या आ गया लगता है when I went there were 12 Islam's. They had already unloaded about 8 9 and they were just throwing over each other from the that lorry. I said बाबा एक दूसरे पे इफेक्ट पड़ेगा 35 kg की जरूरत पड़ेगा तो टूट जाएगा खराब हो सकता है. Why not you are handling like a baby? जब सर सब लोग जल्दी में थे सब लोग ने जल्दी जाने का हम पढ़ा देते हैं तो ये वर्कर थोड़ी समझेंगे we don't feel like handling it. You know what happened? When next day when I opened, all the journals were marked because damage mark happened in the hand. And so what we call it is equality. Sometimes we call it as ISO or anything. So this kind of misunderstanding or the communication gap, can we handle every casting like a newly born baby? My concept. It is my heart, my casting. So every worker, if you start thinking, just see how much protection. So changing thinking process, that's a very important thing. What we have to change. See, nature of human being, nature unchangeable. DNA cannot be changed. Of course, nowadays some technology coming to change the DNA also. Nurturing, continuous changing process. This is one of the facts that is happening. Conditioning of mind through repetitive action. This we do it continuously, teaching, continuously telling them, uh, not by force, but they have to take it by heart. How? तो लो माइंड डिस्कस पीपल. अभी हम देखते हैं कि हमारे यहाँ वर्कर जब फ्री होता है लंच टाइम में तो क्या बात करता है. आप कभी कभी सुनेंगे तो आपको ऐसा रहेगा वो बात करें अपने बॉस के बारे में या कोई फैमिली के बारे में बात करें बट दे विल नेवर डिस्कस अबाउट देयर वर्क. एंड थोड़ी बड़ी ग्रुप में जाएंगे. इट वाज हैपनिंग इन टाटा स्टील. आई टेल यू आई हैव गॉट अ केस स्टडी आल्सो डन ऑन दिस. एवरेज माइंड डिस्कस इवेंट्स. एवरेज माइंड ऑफ पेपर लिख दें आज क्या 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 केस आया आज क्या हो गया आज नॉवेल्स का क्या हो गया आज बीजेपी का क्या हो गया. They will discuss. But can we make them a great mind, discuss idea, discuss process what we have done, what we have been doing. This was the art which was happening here. We are losing that. Why? Because we are always smart people trying to deceive others. So use of left brain and right brain. This is my question now. How we can transform it? Brain is most complex, very difficult to change. It does all operation, thinking, memory, feeling, intelligence, actions, everything. And billions of neurons firing together and distributed in two hemispheres, left and right. Most of the time, process process of continuous thoughts and movements. कभी हम घर में आपको वही चलता रहता है. आज कुछ नहीं हुआ है. हम बड़े लोग सीनियर लोग सोचते थे सीनियर हैं ओनर से. So remaining control. This is what we have to control our movements. How we make them conscious. This is one art we have to develop. It's possible. I heard in China, though I never got a watching boundary, they say that during lunchtime and break time, they are compulsorily made to speak. They will not talk. Why? Because if they talk to each other, they lose the energy. And the relaxation of mind doesn't take place because of that. They may make mistakes. So lunchtime is very essential. They have to compulsorily sleep for minimum half an hour. Immediately they take the food and they go into their cabins. Each have got cabins like a sleeper and they sleep. If they talk, they are punished. Remaining control unconscious thoughts and automatic functions of body. For example, breathing, thinking, memory, all intelligence goes automatically. Can we make them conscious of the what? How? we have got a left brain and right brain. Most of the Indians have got left. Left brain is normally right. Right hand से जब ज़्यादा काम करती है, ज़्यादा right. So left brain काम करती है. But there is one. I tell you, the right brain has got one intuition. Intuition. Intuition means something sixth sense which comes, and that is the artist. So this intuition has got a bigger role in controlling our workers. And how do we develop this? Intuition is the basically, if you look at this, quick penetrating sight, insight, or gaining direct knowledge about any habit. So we need to build in the business. And the most important is the risk plan. The risk plan is you make a cost plan, time plan, quality plan. Risk plan is very important. HR plan, community. I give more emphasis on the risk plan. What are the ways question by which my workers may slip from his skill? If I could find out and I could make a questionnaire, definitely will succeed. This is a beautiful slide which I have been liking always. The observation part is very important. Newton, you all know this, he is a Newton. And he saw falling apple and started thinking, why it has fallen? And he developed a formula. The gravitational. I'm not going to tell. But I question why before Newton there were millions of people born and could not think that why they have to suffer. Why only he? So this is what we have to make a beginning now. We start thinking why it is happening. Indian foundries, we are not able to export it. We are not able to meet with the cost. We are not able to compete with the quality with others. What the foreigners have put us in challenge. For example, I will tell you. We spent a lot of time in searching where is the fourth LNP. And in one of the shop, I saw this always searching person where is the fourth. You could see it. 1, 2, 3. 3 LNPs are seen, but fourth is not seen. And we waste a lot of time. Same thing, tool searching by the individuals. Also, we waste time. Can we peep? Peep means place for everything, everything place. One simple technique doesn't need any. And this is what we call it. In house also, when power off goes off, then we start searching the emergency lamp, and we start asking where did you keep it. When we bring a fridge in the house, we start looking for which place we have to. There is unfortunately no plug there where we wish to keep it. So like this, intuition is very important. Like we keep it, there is a fourth plug. The clean LED was just behind the sock. So this is one example I'm telling you. But everybody says that I have no time. If you ask everyone, they will say no time. I have no time. And creating time is a big challenge. How we create time, nobody's reason. Once I asked my granddaughter, she's 6 years old, I told her to mark some tables up to 20. I said, when will you give? I'm very busy now. She always answers me, I'm very busy. I said, why? I have to attend the class. So many reasons. Answering very nicely. And no time. So if a child is busy, and parents are busy, the founder man, every CEO is busy, workers are busy, then why we are not able to get the output? It means, and we are not restless. We are restless also. हम टेक्नोलॉजी क्यों डेवलप कर रहे हैं, इसलिए डेवलप कर रहे हैं कि हमें आराम मिले. हम सब लोग रेस्टलेस हैं. Why? Because we are not. We have to find out the time for this. We have to find out the time for me. I am busy. I know. Time is too much. I am equally busy than the time. Everybody is busy, but we have to find the time for this. If you don't want to find, then no. Blaming each other is a big game in our country. Always there are many examples of this. Always, and whenever a casting gets rejected, you'll find several reasons. They will try to find out the concept. wood maker, door maker, heat maker, and designer. There's so many things. So if we give them responsibility and policing, is how we can remove this blaming game from Indian mind. This is my one of the request and all countrymen to handle the situation of the song. And this is possible when we do it with the attitude level. I thought, मुझे लगेगा, लगा. ये these words are very common. I thought, मुझे लगा, चलेगा सर, चलेगा. And so many times I tell you I purchased many times some of the wrong items, and I go to the shopkeeper to return it. He says, sir, ये चलता है ना, चला लीजिए ना आप. होता है, मतलब कैसे चलेगा, लगता ही नहीं है, तो हम लगवा देंगे. उसमें आके जबरदस्ती क्या करता है, वो आकर के उसको टाइट करता तोड़ता है, उसमें टेप लगा करके फिर लगाता है. Means he has damaged my system rather than improving. तो चला दिया, चल तो दिया. What will happen after that? So that will do. Thing that will do. I won't say these words. This kind of attitudes should be there, I think, with every worker that we. I will conclude now. Quality is to be changed for improvement through the involvement of on-job direct working employees, because the product which is coming out from the hand. Say, for example, during delivery, if the nurse trips the baby or newly born baby, what will happen? The baby will fall and die. And it happens many times. So how we have to train? Is the first worker, first gatekeeper से लेकर के मैं बोलता हूँ, जो नीचे जो कास्टिंग जो फाइनल निकालता है, वहां तक के हमें सोचना है कि हमें जॉब को कैसे हम ट्रेन करें. It depends on the nature of the individual to which he has grown, because we have grown in that environment. In our India, we have been taught by our forefathers also how to lie, how to bypass. Government also saying it varies from country to country, human to human, place to place. Now, we are slightly in the back position now after the independence. Everybody has become very clear. How to bypass the rules, how to give a convincing answer so that he is not affected. That's one big quality I have seen in the among the people now. The people working now and people working here. Works on zero investment principle. They don't need cost. You don't have to bring any instrument or invest a lot of money. Works within the rules and policies. You have to set certain policies. You have to empower them. It should be taken as a religion. And my last sentence is, change should be done from the heart, not the
That was a very interesting address by you, sir. A different
Thank you, sir.
viewpoint for looking at quality and its understanding. And the practical examples you gave helped in understanding the concept also. I thank you very much for that. I thank all the national office bearers and directors also for supporting the program. And I thank all the attendees. Thank you. Thank you, everybody.